Welcome to Insurance Alerts broadcast. I am Vivek Jain here. Today with us we have Mr. Abhijit Sethi, Chief Operating Officer, Howden India. Sir, IRD has come out with a resolution, the insurance for all by 2047. What do you think? It is achievable, not achievable? And if it is achievable, how it will be achievable?
Sure. Vivek, thank you first of all for having me on this broadcast or this show. Um, eh, I'm quite happy and honored to represent Howden here. Thank you for the question. So yes, it's a great step in the right direction, and I think it is achievable. The government's doing all the right steps. The IRD is taking all the right steps to do this, but I think fundamentally we need to understand as to why the insurance for all sort of a visions come about, and what do we mean by insurance for all by 2047. So, and I think we'll have to take a couple of steps back as to why insurance, very honestly, because insurance is the bedrock of, if you look at capital markets, I think it's a great stabilizing force in terms of crisis. And insurance can act as a stabilizing market. So if you put in more than 50% of your investments in debt and equity markets, it could really mean a lot to the world at large. And considering the size of the Indian insurance market, which is acknowledged to be a global player, I think there is immense potential. So that being the basis or the genesis or the foundation or thought process with which the government's gone about it. So if insurance is recognized and acknowledged as a global player, why is it that we're not there at this point in time? So the Indian insurance market currently is close to about 3 lakh crores in Indian terms, right? By 2032, and that is about 126 billion USD. But by 2032, we are looking at this number to be almost tripling. We're looking at something like 325 billion. We'll jump from the 10th spot to the 6th spot, but that only takes us till about 32. What about till 47? How do we go about that? So the thought process is we're looking at 177 lakh crores. So from 30 crore Indians being insured to 160 crore Indians being insured, we're looking at 200 odd insurers per se. We're currently about 64 life and health insurers put together. We're looking at those humongous numbers. So how do we go there? What are the enablers? What do we need to be doing? So I think we need to first understand why is the penetration so low. What is the reason? Is it that people don't understand the product? Is it the affordability which is a problem? Is it the distribution which is a problem? And I think the IRD is trying to address all of those put together, combined. So they've put together a plan which says how do we make sure that the insurance contribution, which is less than 5% of the GDP, jumps up and contributes significantly. So the vision for all for 2047, if you see, is they're looking at launching the Bima Trinity, which is Bima Sugam, Bima Vistar, and Bima Vahaks, right? And the three central pillars, which is the policyholders, the insurers, and the distributors, all come together and help in facilitate in increasing the insurance penetration to the market. Now, that being the thought process, how do they go about it? So the Bima Sugam, which is basically a platform for the distributors and the insurance companies to come together to facilitate and um, the distribution of the policies, or the claims handling of the policies, is one part of it. And then there is the Bima Vistar, wherein a comprehensive or a combined product can be made use of, which is the householders policy, the cattle, the life, and the assets of the rural class, and it's made affordable. And then the Bima Wahaks, which is trying to get down to tier C, tier cities where majority of the people live, and insurance is made available to all of them. So the women centric force typically would be would be taken would be kept in charge of trying to distribute it through those. So that, then how do you, what else can we do? This talks about the distribution. We've spoken about the distribution and the awareness. What else can we do? What sort of products can we look at? What is it that will help in increasing the penetration to the Indian insurance markets? Now, it could be a combination of, so typically people tend to suffer from the NatCat perils, and we could also have the parametric cover, which could augment the NatCat perils, right? And there is a great impetus in for climate and weather derivative products and parametric products today. So you could use those that would help the rural class in making sure that there is no protection gap. Um, Also, the protection gap, and since I touched upon it, if you look at the world markets, or the Indian markets particularly, Swiss Re estimates that there is a protection gap of $134 billion. The NatCat is about 94%. A protection gap of 94%. Health is the least with 73%. So, what is it that we do that helps in getting the protection gap down? So again, you could have simplified products. You could look at regulatory frameworks. You could look at capital frameworks. And of late we heard this discussion in the news where probably GST on insurance could be reduced. So those were some of the steps in the right direction of saying, how do we go about increasing the penetration and making sure that everybody gets the insurance by 2047.
So you feel it is possible?
Oh, I absolutely feel it is possible. I think we are taking the steps in the right direction, and the regulators is quite an enabler. The speed at which the policies are being changed for the betterment of the policyholders, for the distributors, for the insurance companies. I think there is a vision, and they're living, and they're making sure that they provide all enablers there. The way the regulators now speaking to the insurer, they've divided each state, and there's been a target allocation of states saying that we need to increase the penetration. The expense of capital sort of a management system, where they're saying distributors are allowed to earn up till a certain limit, and they've removed the cappings. The fact that they've worked on the de-tariffing of wordings and on pricing, these are all steps in the right direction, such that support innovation and product, and foster greater products to be brought into the Indian market. So, absolutely no reason why this shouldn't be done or this can't be done.
What is the role of a broker in this whole scenario?
So, a broker, if you look at the markets, or if you look at the changing trend, today the broking fraternity is about present in about 35 to 42% or 43% of the entire insurance market is being traded through a through a broker. So the ideology behind a broker is representing the client, and understanding the needs and requirements of a client, and making sure that the insurance company is able to provide um, the the coverages in line with the requirements. So uh, it's evolved from an agency model. An agent was a representative of the insurer, and the insurer's interests were being served. Here the client's interests are being served, and this is not just pure corporate large scale clients, but this is also the medium and small scale enterprises and the small and the SMEs. So a broker is a representative of the client, trying to help the client in making sure there is no protection gap.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And we will be in touch with you for more updates in time to come.
Okay. All right. Look
Okay.
forward. Thank you so much for your time.